So I'd like to share my thoughts on burnout, more specifically pre-burnout signs, because I work in IT in more of a generalist role, and I think it's pretty broad type of challenge people have, and I think it's worth inspecting a little bit more how we can prevent that happening, or at least recognizing that it's happening, so the outcome is not full burnout but maybe just a partial exhaustion, or ideally you realize that very fast and you just leave the company, or you made changes which makes it more feasible to work in the same spot. And I'd like to speak more specifically about three aspects I identified on myself, and I think they are a huge part of why people eventually get exhausted. I also think it's actually a blessing to recognize that faster rather than being dragged down for a couple of years, even though it might seem like a good thing that you are able to withstand it. It's really, I believe there's nothing good about it. First one is, if you feel like you're hurrying somewhere, if you have some kind of side hustle, or you have some project you would like to actually spend more time on, you have something which you believe can replace your job, and you are in this constant feeling like you are getting closer and closer, and you are in the sense of a hurry, it means that it's already like mindset which is potentially damaging unnecessarily. And one of the main reasons why it's dangerous is because with this hurrying, you're not only kind of like not solving the main problem, which is the pre-burnout phase, but you also potentially poisoning the project or side hustle which matters too, because you start hurrying, things stop going as well as they could because you had the freedom to do it peacefully and at your own pace. So that's the main message there, that hurrying really doesn't solve anything. It just makes it actually, paradoxically, much slower. The second aspect of pre-burnout sign is you feel like your work is meaningless. And that is very broad term, because it's highly subjective and it can be meaningless on different levels. I can give an example in large corporation that if you work in an industry which you really cannot connect with. In my example, it was most recently telecommunications. I worked with technologies which were broadly used and kind of modern, but for me, telco means they send me invoice for my phone bill and I pay them. And I really don't care about any digital products and any sales promotions or any mobile apps, etc. So it was really difficult to figure out why should I care, and it was pretty meaningless for me. And I didn't know that at the beginning. I wasn't aware that's gonna be the core of the work, but it was really hard since the very beginning to find meaning in it. And what's happening eventually, that people generally, what's the advice, that you can start finding islands of meaning. You find some aspect of your job where you can get better at, or you are interested in, you can spend some extra time studying it and getting better at, which works as a tool, but as a tool more tactical than strategic. It's something you can use to like maintain some kind of sanity for months, but not for years. It's definitely not something which you can overcome with the meaninglessness of the overall project or overall work, job, industry, whatever it is. The third one I would like to share, the third aspect of pre-burnout is too much context switching. So it's highly related to the previous one. Eventually, even though you have your own island of interest and you would like to develop in that area, you get another project or you get another assignment, and with that there is another extra group call, or there is an extra noise. And this noise will increase, it will only increase, and it's generally not sustainable unless you really care about the first aspect, which is the meaning. for you, it's gonna be just noise. And the islands of interest will eventually like evaporate because you will not have energy for it anymore. It will be just getting smaller and smaller, and the amount of meetings around all kinds of things or all kinds of activities which are not related to that will increase. And eventually you'll see how it will slowly suffocate you. And it's actually a good sign that it's happening relatively fast within first year, within first 6 months, or even 3 months. It's possible to recognize, and therefore you can much faster actually take action and decide what are the next steps. And the key here is to actually really consciously realize that and decide to work with this situation. And again, as a tactical step would be that you talk to the manager that you have too much responsibility or you want to change something. But as a strategic one is definitely some reflection, some time off, and planning some steps next, because I believe that you will never overwrite the meaning or lack of meaning you had, which I mentioned in the second point. And that's the point where you start drawing your own path forward, which you could take and replace this position. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope it's useful for you. If you have any other thoughts around this in this topic, let me know. I'll gladly make a video in this area. And have a good day. Cheers. Bye.